So Wolverhampton Wanderers now looking for their third manager in just 12 months, and it looks like they're getting very close to that appointment being made, because you might have seen the news earlier today that Rob Edwards, the Middlesbrough manager in his first season at the club, has announced he wouldn't be in the dugout for their game at home to Birmingham City that gets underway at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Well, since then, the story has moved at pace. Middlesbrough confirming that, subject to the completion of an agreement with Wolves, they have given Rob Edwards permission to speak with Wolverhampton Wanderers. They say they did reject an approach from Wolves on the basis that Rob had signed a 3-year contract with Middlesbrough less than 6 months ago. But following discussions with Rob, we were disappointed to learn he wanted to speak to Wolves about that head coach vacancy. So he won't be in the dugout this afternoon, Clinton. And some will look at this and they'll look at the situation that Wolves find themselves in. Cut adrift at the bottom, like last season. Not a single win in their opening 10 games. And he's with the Middlesbrough side, who are currently sitting in third. He's doing really good things with Middlesbrough at the moment. Think, why make the move? Is that the draw of money in the Premier League ruling his head?
Well, he was there before, wasn't he? He was a coach there. He was there as a player. And, yeah, it must be maybe Premier League, and he thinks he can go in there and keep Wolves in the Premier League. I am surprised because, as you said, the job he was doing at Middlesbrough is brilliant. He's got a good chairman in Steve Gibson, who gives his managers a lot of time and gives them backing. And yeah, he was,
which is the opposite of what he's going into.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. He must know the club inside out, and he must know the hierarchy there. And he's probably thinking, you know, it's a chance to go back to Wolves and. Could I do the great escape? Well, look at those fixtures. It has to be a great escape.
8 points adrift.
You've already played 3 of the teams that have just been promoted, and they've all beat you as well, and you haven't got results. And where they are at the moment, they look doomed, Wolves. So it's a big call from Rob Edwards. But well,
those were starts. Not a single club has saved themselves when making that kind of.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you look at it at the moment, and everyone on there would probably say Wolves look like they are going to get relegated at the moment. But he thinks he's the man. He can go into that football club and change it and maybe try and get them out of trouble. But yeah, I think he needs a miracle. I am surprised that he's left Middlesbrough, but you can understand the familiar he's got with the fans there, and also with the players there, and with the hierarchy, and obviously being an academy manager there, you can see probably why he's gone there. But as I said, me personally, it's a big call from him. But he actually believes in himself as a manager. He could turn it around there.
Why not, Sue? But what he's going to have to deal with, which is the complaint amongst a lot of Wolves fans at the moment, that from the owners there's absolutely no vision at the club. A club that repeatedly over the last few seasons has weakened its squad, not brought in good enough players for the players who've headed out. I mean, that alone is a huge job, isn't it, in terms of whether or not he's even got the quality to mount the greatest of escapes.
Yeah, a lot of blame has to be aimed, you know, at the owner, Jeff Shee, the recruitment strategy. You know, I think when you lose so many crucial players, like, you know, you look at those, the likes of Cunha, Aït-Nouri, Semedo, they're sort of the players that were key to them, and it's bound to have an impact, and then you're bringing in players that aren't of that same quality and calibre. So, of course, the manager has to take some blame for everything. You know, you look at some of the, you know, the tactics, maybe some of the personnel that he played, real lack of creativity. They were conceding too many easy goals. So, of course, the manager has to take that responsibility, but you have to look at the way the club has been run. So it's going to be difficult if it is Rob Edwards to go in there. You just feel they need a manager that's going to galvanise a real low-confidence team at the moment. They look like a team that are like that, a team that are struggling defensively, so he's going to have to organise them defensively. But I think when you look at Rob Edwards, you think his character. I remember Tom Lockyer being on the show midweek, and he was saying, as players, we run through brick walls for him. So you think if he can get that to this...
You'll have to run through a lot of brick walls, aren't they, over the next few weeks, that's for sure.
No, they are, but the next appointment is crucial for Wolves.
And Merce, I guess at the top of his in-tray, if indeed he does end up being the Wolves manager, and everything is pointing towards that. I mean, it's come too early for the game. You can see live on Sky later. They're away at Chelsea, but then it's Crystal Palace at home after the international break. You look at Vitor Pereira this season. Over the course of the opening 10 games, 5 different captains, 8 different defensive lineups. No manager anywhere else in the Premier League made as many changes as he did game by game. So the key thing for Rob Edwards, once he's got in there and assessed what he has, quality-wise, he's got to quickly sort out that starting 11.
Did you say 5 different captains?
Yeah.
What, is it their birthdays?
Starting captains.
Yeah, like, so is it their birthday? You don't have 5 different starting captains.
Well, they did this season.
That's like Sunday morning football. Whose birthday is it, kids? Your captain. And you can take the penalties as well.
Maybe that's why they're 8 points adrift.
And probably one of the reasons, you've got to be able to make decisions. Yeah, first of all, you're right. He's got to go in, he's got to get a team set. He's got to find his team as quickly as possible, and give that team a run in the team of 5, 6, 7 games. And then you go from there. I'm sure he's going to get that many games because they've chased after him. So I think he's going to have a long time in it. But yeah, it's a shame for Middlesbrough what's happened. It is a shame, but he's managing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
There's two certain things in football. As a manager, you pay your tax, you get the sack. Unless you're a Sir Alex Ferguson and probably 1 or 2 managers ever, you get the sack. He's probably weighed it up and thought, I might as well get sacked, getting paid more money. And he's gone to the Premier League. It's the way it is. You know, I love Middlesbrough. I played at Middlesbrough. It's a great club. But you've got to remember, they've sacked managers before. And they'll sack managers again. So you can't blame Rob. Rob comes from the Midlands. He lives in the Midlands. He's managed at Wolves and he's in the Premier League. He's got a free swing, free swing. They're 8 points adrift. You know, we're saying 8 now. If Leeds and Burnley go and win this weekend, they're going to be 1 million points behind.
It's a massive, isn't it?
Yeah,
a
1 million
massive
points behind. They're going to be 3 points above Middlesbrough.